some of my thoughts around the celebration of Hispanic Heritage Month. I mean, I feel like it's dope. I feel like it's really dope. I love this country and all the opportunities that it's presented me over the years. I also recognize that this country is a really mean and harsh place sometimes, you know. I was, of a generation where I had to yield myself to the majority. You know, my name is Luis, but because no one up here had ever met a Luis, which is the same as like Kevin in our language, you know what I mean? I had to become Luis to sort of, make it so that these people could just deal with us. And so we lose a bit of our heritage and our culture when we come to this country, when we yield ourselves to the idea of what this country is. My name is Luis Claderin. My friends know me as Luis Claderin. I am on the board of directors of Chill. I think that board sports in the outdoor space owes the opportunity to Black and brown young people to reclaim their seat at the table that is really theirs to begin with. I do believe that there is an opportunity and the capacity and ability to any of these kids today to be the future of this industry, the future of these organizations. I was asked to join the board of Chill 2 years ago. There was a horrific moment captured on film with the murder of George Floyd, that because everyone was frozen in their worlds, they were able to see exactly what happened that day. Organizations that serve Black and brown people had to pause and look at themselves as an organization and say, as an organization that serves Black and brown people, how many Black and brown people do we have that work for us? And how many Black and brown people are there on a board? People like myself started to get called in, and I was tapped in by my friends and my family over at Burton to help start this conversation around race. The industry of snowboarding has made significant improvements. The outdoor space has made improvements, but it is not done. It's just really the absolutely the very beginning of what I call a generational change. Getting opportunities to have jobs, meeting someone, having a child, and then their kid born out of snowboarding and snow culture and the culture doesn't have to face any of the same level of challenges they did, then we know that this is actually making real impact. I was born in Miami. My parents are from Cuba, and we lived in a very Cuban Miami experience most of my life. And then my parents moved up here, and it was a very sort of culture shock experience for me. A city kid from Miami coming to the Great White North up here, and I became pretty good friends with kids that were like into skateboarding, and they were starting to snowboard, and they had introduced me to the snowboard shop here in town called the Boarding House, and I would just go and hang out there. I really loved the whole scene, and I got a job at this little snowboard shop. The two guys that ran it were these two brothers, Andy and Jack Coughlin, and they had a program where they were taking some of the kids to the mountain at night to teach them how to snowboard. So my friends, convinced me to get on the bus with them, and I went up and had no idea what I was doing. We were night riding, like that was the most alien I could have ever been in my life. And I fell and got back up, and fell and got back up, and all those sort of lessons built the grit, and that helped sort of spark determination for me, and ultimately the big P, perseverance. The entire culture put me in a direction that has just sort of led me down a way that, I couldn't even imagine where it was going to take me, but it's taken me all over the world, and in a career, in a life that is second to none, I guess, That's a good question. One of my biggest accomplishments, I want to give you an answer about my professional career that would say I worked for Gravis Footwear at Burton, Then I moved over to American Eagle Outfitters. Then I moved out to California and I worked for Fox Racing. I was a marketing director at Fox Racing for many years. Then I started an agency and I worked for a bunch of different brands. I came back in-house at Burton. Then I joined the Bernie Sanders 2016 presidential campaign. I think I'm at a point right now where it's really not about the actual job. I spent a lot of time thinking that like a job will fill us, but it's really mostly just a means to an end, you know? The relationships and the experiences are really what have filled me so far. So it's hard for me to say what the job is. It's really about getting to chat with you today that has made it all worth it, if you will.